Hello and welcome everyone to the in new series of Drishti IAS English. I am Pragya with you today. In our insightful episode of In News, we are going to discuss a very significant and important topic today. The title of our today's discussion is Green Credit Program Incentivizing Environmental Action. In this discussion, we will be firstly studying about what is the Green Credit Program. Then we are also going to analyze the significance of this Green Credit Program. Then we are also going to study about the concerns and the solutions related to those concerns. And lastly, we will be discussing a practice question for your prelims examination and a practice question for your mains examination. And this topic is significant from the perspective of your GS3 paper. It can be asked in your prelims as well as the mains examination. So if I talk about the background of our today's topic, the Green Credit Program was launched in the year 2023 by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The primary aim of the program was to increase afforestation. But now the central government has tweaked the norms under the Green Credit Program and has shifted the primary focus from afforestation to restoring the natural ecosystem. So basically the Ministry of Environment is saying that yes, afforestation is well and good, but the primary focus should be on restoring the natural ecosystem of a degraded land. So this brings us to the moot point of our today's discussion, that what exactly is this Green Credit Program. As I mentioned, it was launched in October 2023 by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and this has been launched under the Ambitious Life Project. And this Green Credit Program is a first one of its kind market instrument that incentivizes voluntary environment actions in various sectors by private individual, by industries and local bodies. So this is a very ambitious program that has been launched under the LIFE scheme. Okay, and if you talk about what exactly are green credits are market instruments. They can be traded. They allow the companies, private individual and local bodies to promote afforestation, and the companies or the private individual local bodies can use this credit to counterbalance deforestation as well as the non-forest land use. So basically they are very similar to the carbon credits. So we use carbon credits to decrease our carbon footprints, and we can use the green credits to show our voluntary actions in various other sectors apart from reducing our carbon footprints. Moving forward, initially the Green Credit Program targets two primary areas: water conservation and afforestation. But it also includes various other sectors within its domains, and these are firstly sustainable agriculture, sustainable building and infrastructure, waste management, air pollution reduction, then there is mangroves conservation and restoration, and then there is eco-mark. So apart from water conservation and afforestation, these sectors are also included within the purview of the Green Credit Program. Draft rules have already been notified by the Ministry of Environment under the Environmental Protection Act of 1986. These methodologies set benchmarks for each activity process to ensure environmental impact and fungibility across various sectors. So, we are not only supposed to reduce our carbon footprints, we need to proceed towards living our life in a very sustainable manner. We need to mitigate the climate change, the adverse impacts of climate change, and that is why we are promoting all of these schemes. We are promoting a green growth, a sustainable growth for ourselves and our future generations. Moving forward, it also includes setting up of a digital platform for registration, for monitoring of green credits, for trading of green credits, etc. So, all of this can be monitored through this digital platform. The Green Credit Registry and Trading Platform being developed in partnership with ICFRE. ICFRE, or the Indian Council for Forest Resources and Education, is the governing body for the implementation of the Green Credit Program. It is the administrative body which foresees registrations, which foresees rule formation, regulation formation, way forward, etc. about this program. And experts, and it will enable the registration, buying and selling of green credits. Individual and organizations can register their activities through the government website or app at www.moefccgcp.in. So, basically all of this will be facilitated for trading in green credits. Moving forward, let us examine what exactly is the significance of this green credit program. So, green credits for afforestation are a way to incentivize private investments in tree plantation. So, basically they enhance tree plantation, they encourage the restoration of natural ecosystem, because the primary aim has shifted from afforestation to restoring the natural ecosystem, and this restoration of natural ecosystem should be of a degraded land. So, it promotes the restoration of a degraded land, and this is the major significance of this green credit program. It is a first of its kind instrument that seeks to value and reward multiple ecosystem services to allow green projects to achieve optimal returns beyond just reducing carbon footprints. Moving forward, let us examine the concerns and solutions regarding the green credit program. So, the major concern regarding green credit program was the phenomenon of greenwashing. It was being expected by the experts and argued by the experts that the companies, for financial gain, will greenwash those areas which are already in very good condition. But now the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change has took cognizance of this fact, and they are now saying that okay, apart from tree planting, that should not be the only aim. You need to restore the natural ecosystem of the degraded land. So, the word here is degraded land, and definitely afforestation in itself is not sufficient for availing these green credits. Moving forward, forest departments of 13 states have offered 387 land parcels of degraded forest lands, and individual and companies can apply to the Indian Council for Forestry Research and Education, that is ICFRE, which is an autonomous body of the Environment Ministry, to pay to restore these forests. So, basically the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change took cognizance of the fact that yes, to achieve financial gain, to reduce their responsibilities, the companies and individuals will start greenwashing the areas which are already sufficient, okay, which are already in a very good condition, and that is why they inserted this condition that no, you have to restore the natural ecosystem of the degraded land, okay. The actual afforestation will be carried out by the state forest departments, and 2 years after planting and following an evaluation by the ICFRE, each such planted tree could be worth 1 green credit. So this was another concern that was being raised by the experts, that who will take accountability, who will verify that yes, they are actually planting a tree, who will evaluate the green credits. So all of this has been taken care of, and now there will be monitoring and management of the plants, and after every 2 years an assessment will be there which will decide whether green credit should be given or not. Moving forward. Moreover, companies would not be able to offset all of their obligations under compensatory afforestation using green credits, but could claim a portion of it. Now, this is another term, compensatory afforestation. So, what exactly is this compensatory afforestation? Supposedly, this is a forest land, and you are using this for non-forest purposes. So not only you will pay a penalty for it, but also you will give a piece of land with planted trees, so that we do not lose our forest covers, because we are losing our forest covers at an unprecedented rate, and that is why under the corporate social responsibility, the companies are having this liability of compensatory afforestation. So, under the green credit program scheme, the companies will not be able to fully waive off their liability under the compulsory afforestation. However, they can use the green credits for covering a portion of it, because the focus has to be on the restoration of the degraded land, so that we can conserve our forest covers, we can conserve those lands which we have already lost. See, right now also we have unutilized money that is being charged from these companies for these lands which were forest lands, but they were used for this non-forest purposes, because we do not have lands for afforestation purposes, and that is why the focus is to be shifted to restoring our degraded lands, otherwise we'll lose all of our forests covers. This is a pictorial representation of greening degraded lands, and the chart shows the areas in hectares of degraded forest land available for afforestation. And if you observe this chart, you will be able to figure it out that 40% of this degraded land is in the states of MP and Chhattisgarh. So, as you can see, MP 879 hectares, Chhattisgarh 663, then Assam, Telangana, Bihar, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Odisha, Daman and Diu. So basically the focus has to be shifted towards restoration of all these degraded lands which we have lost, all the forest land. The Ministry of Environment has on April 2024 also released a guideline which will empower the states to calculate the actual compensation of the restoration. Okay, so previously the restored land could qualify as a restored land if it had 1100 trees per hectare. But now the power lies in the hands of the state governments to actually calculate the cost of a degraded land. So the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has released latest guidelines on this regard, and this is a pilot project because all of the lands, the natural ecosystem cannot be consisting of only trees. There are grasslands also, there are shrubs also. So all of this is in a deliberation state, and definitely it will be open for public opinion as well. With this, we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. We have understood what are green credits. We have also understood what is the green credit program. We have analyzed its significance. We have also seen what were the concerns regarding greenwashing, regarding the monitoring of the program, regarding verifying whether the companies are actually increasing tree plantations or not. And we have seen that yes, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is deliberating all of on these issues, and definitely they are trying to address the challenges one by one. Now let us discuss a practice question for your prelims examination. So the question is regarding carbon credits, which one of the following statements is not correct? And this is a PYQ that has been asked in the year 2011. So your option A is the carbon credit system was ratified in conjunction with the Kyoto Protocol. Option B, carbon credits are awarded to countries or groups that have reduced greenhouse gases below their emission quota. Option C, the goal of the carbon credit system is to limit the increase of carbon dioxide emission. Option D, carbon credits are traded at a price fixed from time to time by the United Nations Environment Programme. So kindly let me know the correct answer in the comment section below. Now let us discuss a practice question for your mains examination. So the question is, discuss the opportunities and challenges associated with the green credits program. So firstly, you will mention about the green credits, what are green credits. Then you will write about this ambitious program that has been launched under the LIFE mission. You will write that yes, there is a digital platform, there is a green registry, the draft rules have been notified, it increases environmental contribution in different sectors, okay. Apart from reduction of carbon footprints, and green credits can also be used for the purposes of carbon credits, they are equivalent to carbon credits. Then you will write about the benefits of the green credit program, that they are helpful in afforestation, restoring the natural ecosystem of degraded lands. They will also help us in restoring the degraded lands. And then you can write about the challenges, that yes, implementation is a huge challenge, monitoring is a huge challenge, and then you can suggest your solutions to these concerns, that yes, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is shifting its focus from afforestation to restoration of natural ecosystem, and definitely various bodies can be set apart from ICFRE to monitor the phased implementation of the green credit program. So you can conclude very holistically. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any feedback regarding this session, you can drop it in the comment box below. If you liked today's discussion and found it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting updates. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.